Who Dat Nation, wake up. Because the news I have for you today is absolutely explosive, and it might just break your heart into a million pieces. We are witnessing a seismic shift in the French Quarter, and the rumors flying around for this 2026 season are nothing short of a nightmare for those of us who bleed black and gold. Something massive is happening behind closed doors, and it changes every single thing we thought we knew about our backfield. We are building a massive tribe here, so hit subscribe, join our goal of reaching 3,000 subscribers, and comment your city. The legendary Alvin Kamara is the name on everyone's lips right now, and it feels like a punch to the gut just saying it. Since we drafted him back in 2017, he hasn't just been a player, he has been the heartbeat of New Orleans. Think about those 5 consecutive Pro Bowls to start his career, and the way he glided past defenders like they were statues. But here is the cold, hard reality that management is forcing us to face. The Saints went out and signed Travis Etienne Jr. in free agency this offseason, and the word on the street is that Etienne is officially the lead back now. It is a succession plan that feels like a betrayal to everything Alvin has given the city. We are talking about a guy who redefined the position for us, and now he is being relegated to passing downs, or even worse. The front office is moving on, and it feels like they are tearing out a piece of our soul to do it. Do you remember the feeling when he scored 6 touchdowns in a single game? That magic is being replaced by a younger name because the league is a business, but we are a family. How can they just push him aside like this after everything he sacrificed? It is ridiculous to think that our king is being dethroned in his own kingdom. Travis Etienne Jr. is a great talent, don't get me wrong, but he isn't Alvin. He hasn't bled in the Superdome for years. He hasn't carried the hopes of a city on his back through the toughest times. I want you to look me in the eye and tell me if you are okay with this transition, because I am losing my mind. This is about loyalty versus production, and it seems like loyalty is losing the battle today. We are looking at a future where number 41 might not be the guy taking the handoff on first down anymore. It is a transition that feels forced and aggressive. What does this say to the locker room when a legend is treated like a backup? The pressure is mounting, and the tension in the facility must be through the roof right now. Here is the raw truth that we all saw coming but didn't want to admit because it hurts too much. Alvin Kamara is 30 years old, and the last few years have been a total physical nightmare for him. We watched him struggle through multiple injuries that robbed him of that explosive burst we fell in love with. It is agonizing to watch a superhero start to look human, and the production dip is becoming impossible to ignore for the coaching staff. But wait, it gets even crazier because the whispers about a trade are starting to become a loud roar that we can no longer ignore. They don't want you to know this, but the front office is actively gauging what he is worth on the open market. It feels like a cold calculation where the human element has been completely erased. Are we really ready to see him in another jersey just because he had one bad year? The Saints are looking at the numbers, and the numbers say he is slowing down, but we look at the heart. We look at the leader in that locker room who keeps the young guys focused when things go south. If he leaves, who fills that void of leadership? Travis Etienne Jr. might have the speed, but does he have the respect of the veterans? This situation is escalating into a full-blown crisis for the fans who have bought his jerseys and cheered his name for nearly a decade. The mood in New Orleans has shifted from excitement for the new season to a deep concern about our identity. We are a team that values our icons, or at least we used to be. Now it feels like we are just another franchise treating players like replaceable parts in a machine. It makes me sick to my stomach to think about the locker room without his presence. Is this really the best move for the chemistry of the team, or are we just chasing a younger version of a dream? The reality is that the NFL stands for not for long, and it is hitting us like a freight train today. We need to brace ourselves for a reality where the backfield looks completely different than what we have known. The narrative is taking a wild turn because a specific trade proposal has surfaced that feels like a script from a movie. Gary Davenport over at Bleacher Report just dropped a bombshell idea that has the whole league talking. He is proposing that the Saints trade Alvin Kamara to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can you imagine the irony of that move? We just took Travis Etienne Jr. from them, and now we might send our greatest weapon of the last decade right back to Florida. It is a redemption arc for Jacksonville, but a potential disaster for us if he finds his old form there. The Jaguars are living in the now after winning 13 games last season, and they are desperate for a workhorse. They lost ATN to us, and now they are staring at a roster with Chris Rodriguez Jr. and Baishul Tutin. Those guys are unproven and have never handled the load of a true number one back in this league. Rodriguez has never even seen 120 carries in a single year, and Tutin was averaging less than 4 yards per carry as a rookie. Jacksonville is a team that thinks they are one piece away from a championship, and they see Alvin as that missing piece. But what happens if this goes right for them? What if Kamara goes to the AFC and lights it up while we struggle to find our rhythm with a new lead back? It would be a catastrophic mistake that would haunt this management for years to come. I am trying to be the insider you trust and tell you the honest truth here. This trade feels like a surrender of our culture for a lottery ticket. The Jaguars need a veteran resume and a leader who knows how to win in January. Kamara is that guy, even if his stats took a hit recently. He still has the vision and the hands to be a nightmare for defensive coordinators across the league. If he lands in Jacksonville, he becomes the focal point of an offense that is already surging. It feels like we are feeding a rival while we are trying to rebuild ourselves. This is the definition of a high-stakes gamble that could blow up in our faces. I am losing my mind over the potential return for this trade because it feels like a total insult to a legend. We are talking about Alvin Kamara going for a 5th-round pick in 2027. Seriously, a 5th-rounder for one of the most prolific players in Saints history? It is unbelievable, and frankly, it feels like a slap in the face to every fan who has supported this team. I know he will be 31 when the 2026 season kicks off, and I know he is coming off the worst season of his career. In 2025, he only played 11 games and barely scratched 470 yards on the ground. His receiving numbers were the lowest we have ever seen at less than 200 yards. But he is still Alvin Kamara, and his value to this franchise should be worth more than a late-round flyer in a future draft. This is the secret that the front office doesn't want to admit out loud. They might be so desperate to clear the path for ATN that they are willing to take pennies on the dollar just to move the contract. It is a cold and calculated move that ignores the legacy he built here in New Orleans. As a fan who has been there for every high and every low, this feels like we are throwing away a piece of our history for almost nothing. A 5th-round pick rarely turns into a starter, let alone a superstar. So why are we rushing to do this? Is the relationship between Kamara and the coaching staff that broken? Or is this just a case of the team being scared of his age and his recent injury history? It wouldn't be the most satisfying end to his tenure here. And that is the understatement of the century. It would be a heartbreaking conclusion to a story that deserved a better final chapter. I want to know if you think a 5th-rounder is enough, because to me, it feels like a robbery. We are talking about a player who gave his prime years to this city, and we are ready to ship him off for a gamble on a Sunday afternoon draft pick. It is a heavy and emotional reflection on where we are as a franchise. This is the moment where we have to look into the future and decide what kind of team we want to be for the rest of 2026 and beyond. Are we a franchise that honors our legends, or are we a cold business that cuts ties the moment a player shows a bit of wear and tear? The vision of Alvin Kamara in a Jaguars jersey is something I never thought I would have to process, and it feels like a betrayal of the Who Dat spirit. But maybe this is the path to a new era with Travis Etienne Jr. taking the torch and leading us to the promised land. I am torn between the love for my favorite player and the hope for a winning season. This is the raw and honest truth of being a fan in the modern NFL. It is a roller coaster of emotions that never seems to stop. Now I need to hear from you because this community is what keeps me going through these crazy rumors. I want to see your fire in the comments below right now. Is this trade a smart move for the future, or are we being let down by a management team that has lost its soul? Do you believe Etienne is the answer, or is Kamara still the king of New Orleans? I am reading every single comment, and I want to know where you stand on this succession plan. We are fighting for our identity, and your voice matters more than ever. If you love this team like I do, make sure you have subscribed so we can hit that 3,000 mark together as one family. We are the loudest and the proudest, and we will get through this transition no matter what happens on the field. Thank you for being part of the tribe and for sharing this journey with me. We stay loyal to the black and gold forever, and we never back down from a fight. Who Dat?